What's up? I'm live, and it's Saturday night, so you know what that means. Not GTA, because online is dead to me, fucking cockstar. No, it's Satisfactory. Of course it's Satisfactory, because until we figure out another multiplayer game to play, or, like, Kelly and I can work out something, figure out a game that we'd want to play together, or something like that, what else am I going to do? Satisfactory, of course. To be fair, I know I've been streaming it a lot since 1.0 dropped, which, I mean, duh, obviously. But I kind of abandoned a factory that I started working on, I don't know, a few weeks ago now. I kind of abandoned it, and I need to get back to working on it. So, we should probably do that, because the mods have been updated, and I have the mods specifically that I need for this, so yeah, it's time to work on that one again. The big aluminum factory with all the resulting products that use aluminum and whatnot. After all, I need my heavy modular frames as well. I still do not have a factory for them, and I'm not planning on making a bespoke one for them. It can be part of this, because fused modular frames exist. So I might as well just make heavy and fused frames at the same time. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? But wait, what about the basics, the basic item factory, the quote-unquote starter factory? Um, that one's already done. Yeah, I went ahead and finished it offline. I wanted to get to this factory, this one that I've been putting off for a while. Specifically because I want to get moving with this save. I want to get to working on the Phase 5 stuff. Obviously, earlier in the week, I hit Phase 5. I had made all the items I needed for that. And that is great, but I still don't have a lot of the stuff that I actually, squeaky chair, need to take advantage of Phase 5 to actually do anything with it. So thus, that's where this factory comes in. Also, I just realized I never actually hit that button. I hit all the other buttons so that this would... Well, once we switched over, it would be there, but I forgot to actually change the scene. So yeah, we're gonna jump in and get on with things, I guess. Though first, 1, 2, 3. I didn't actually craft any of these, by the way. It was rather pricey, but I want the converter.
Milestone reached. The converter uses strange alien matter, abbreviated to SAM, to break down and transform materials at their most fundamental levels. I am sure even you can appreciate the power to manipulate atomic bonds. Most importantly,
Even you?
you are now able to locally create fixite, a highly adaptable synthetic metal, ideal for any kind of construction.
Or so she
It is
says.
everything we need to save the day, and perhaps its admirable qualities can inspire you.
Doubt it. So yeah, that's the first of many things. Trigons and diamond. The first project part. Well, technically second, because the first one is actually... Oi, I was pointing with that. Nuclear pasta. But the first new project part, and then we can ignore this because that's been unlocked for forever. But converters. The reason why I want access to the converter is because I want to set up that factory to be using rocket fuel instead of regular fuel. I'm probably going to have to fill the valley with generators, maybe 2 layers of it, I don't know. But I need to convert it into rocket fuel, right? Problem is, in order to convert 2400 fuel per minute into well, it will end up being 3,600 rocket fuel per minute. I need 2,400 sulfur per minute. That's a lot. So I wanted to get the converter, which is not cheap, especially since I don't have any radio control units, so I can't even place one. Oh, by the way, infinite nudge is a thing, right? So, you know, I can really precisely do things. I can do that, because, you know, why not? I can also do that. Yep, it's really tiny now. So that's a thing. Oh yeah, look, remember how I said things are torn down? The desert is being cleaned up because I don't need those factories anymore. That is all slooped, so... Excuse me. All the sloop stuff is still there. Although I think I was slooping some of my copper stuff, but anyway. That factory needs to be torn down, that one needs to be torn down, that one needs to be torn down, and then eventually all 3 project part factories need to be torn down as well. And the motor, or the steel factory that's back there is probably going to be relocated over towards the water. The motor factory can stay there, honestly. I don't want to deal with it. But yeah, slowly but surely going to be tearing things down, project parts later than not. But problem is, this is all just full of stuff, and yeah, I used a lot of small containers. But yeah, I mean, you can see just how much shit is in there. It's this isn't even empty yet, so gotta wait to tear more down. Also, because infinite zoop is in, there's progression for it, how far you can zoop. I didn't do that because RCUs and batteries, so I'm not fully upgraded on it, but it's a decent ways along. I don't know why that continues to highlight, because all these are done, unless it's related to the fact that I haven't done the hazmat suit yet, which... You can't buy gas filters in the shop anymore? Just want to point that out. Like, I looked for them. Not under equipment. They're not under parts. Oh, you can buy trigons. 200 for 5? That honestly seems pretty reasonable, but I wouldn't know. Time crystals are there. You can see, like, nowhere under here. Nowhere under. Anywhere. Are there filters? And it's not under here either. Oh yeah, this is another mod that I haven't done anything with, but it's there, in case I ever want to. So, yeah, the not being able to craft filters thing is really annoying, but... oh well. Yeah, let's get out to things. Those things making noise as I go past them for the first time. I do just want to take a swing over to there. I do actually have a new mod installed. I'll talk about in just a minute. I have a number of mods installed, honestly. Train just passed through, so there's not going to be another one coming for a little bit. Yeah, I've got a number of mods installed at this point. I'm still going back and forth on the teleporter one. I'm considering installing it sooner than not, simply because having teleporters would be nice, but I refuse to do the singularity thing, because by the time that you have that set up and automated, it's pretty much game over. You know, everything's pretty much done, so what's the point? And they're bloody expensive too, so I'd rather not. Whoopsies. I wanted to come out here and talk to the lizard doggos. Also, I have a new mod. I don't... Oh. Do I just... Oh! Lizard doggo! What do I do with... how... I don't understand what to do with this. Is just dropping it turns it... Well, that's problematic. Hold on. And then equip it and place it elsewhere. But how? How do you place the doggo? I don't understand this. Because obviously this isn't working. Yeah, none of you want to become like this, right? Thanks for the free shit, I guess. Slug? More fused modular frames, I'll definitely take those. Opening codex. Wait, recipe? Hopefully that's just there because, you know, it needs to be for the game to work properly. What do I do with this? I didn't want to pick up my doggo if I didn't... I wouldn't have picked it up if I had realized that it doesn't work. Is there a new item somewhere to place doggos? That will be lizard dog burgers? No! Oh yeah, modular load balancers is a thing. Yay. Ethan found a button. Don't know what to do with the lizard doggo. Pick up lizard doggo and then never put it back down. This means I could technically store my lizard doggo over here, couldn't I? I'm not doing that. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. Well... Oh yeah, I also installed a mod that supposedly fixed the bounding boxes for the locomotives, since apparently they were quite large before, and you couldn't actually stand here, but, I mean, clearly I am. However, why would I want to do that when I can do this? That worked well. Get out of the damn debug menu. Not debug, the console. The plan there was to get into the train and then honk the horn, but I hit my E auto clicker instead of mouse auto clicker, so yeah. That went well. Yeah, the train should be coming around very shortly. Yep, see? Why do you go this way? That is a shift tab. I don't entirely know how that happened, but okay. So yeah, that factory is going to expand at some point with more generators and another building, I guess, to house the blenders that I'll need to make the rocket fuel. I don't know how I'm going to fit all of it. This entire area here might just be filled with generators, honestly. We'll see. But, you know, when I can literally get 50% more fuel and have much more power generation from just the original 2400, never mind the additional 1200 that I'll be getting, I can just get way more power out of all of that. Yeah, it's kind of worth it. But that's also why I want to use the converters, hopefully, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Because, that's a lot of sulfur. 2400 sulfur a minute is a lot. It's not that I can't do it, I just... do I want to? That's the real question. Because, you know, one of the conversion recipes, actually, you can make 120 sulfur per minute from 300 iron. It's a lot. And same thing for 200 coal. It's a lot. But iron specifically, iron is plentiful as fuck. There is so much iron on the map. So, the only problem is that obviously I can't fully utilize a pure node at this point because Mark 6 belts are unreasonably expensive, apparently, at this stage in the game for me. Of course, they might be out. They might be unreasonably expensive, period. I don't actually know that for a fact. And we're going that way. Well, there's that. There's that factory. There's a couple of areas that are stacked higher because why not build vertically? But it does everything I want it to, so. Yay, Geeson, more bridges. Bridges are always good. Especially if you're willing to take the time to make them look really nice. Which I don't care, so. I don't do that. I mean, have you seen the bridge that's back there by the fuel factory? There's one arch on one of the supports that's primarily there to get power up to it. Yeah. Also, this factory will need to be torn down at some point, sooner than not. I know, I spent like an hour and a half setting it up, hour and a half, and it's already going to be getting torn down. Honestly, I should probably double up the amount of aluminum storage just so I have more on hand for when I do tear it down. I probably don't need to do that for the casings, it's more the, don't know what to do with the lizard doggo. It's more so the aluminum sheets that I'm going to need a lot of. potentially. I don't know. We'll see. Which way do I go? That way, apparently. Is this a dead end? It sure is. Alright, my solution of double feed in, double feed out. So I don't honestly remember how I set all these up, so shall we have a look? That one's slightly overclocked. That one's not. You're slightly overclocked and you're not. How many of these do we actually have here? $36. And I need 36.241, so instead of 0.241. Okay. Hate it when it does that. $23.55.678. So that much is right. And there's even Mark V belts in use, so it looks like this has been appropriately done. The fluids haven't been hooked up yet. How much water is needed for that? 724 per minute. So, yeah. That is gonna be a little annoying, but also... This probably isn't deep enough, is it? Resource is not deep enough. Well, it's not as though it's completely not deep enough. No, I don't even need to do this. Why am I doing this? Oh yeah, infinite zoop is really good. Did I mention that? It's just, you know, why not? Oh, and, oh. I mean, yeah, that's technically a possibility, but I more wanted... This is infinite nudge at this point. I don't know off the top of my head if there's a way to... Yeah, I don't think I can quite do 3 dimensions. But I can do precise in that regard. Anyway. Oh, and I also have this mod that is, quite powerful. Yeah, I don't know how to use that mod entirely. Thank you, mouse, for disconnecting. Anyway. Yeah, how do I want to do this? All the items are going this way? I don't know if that's the best idea. I mean, I guess it's fine. I can use some of the space here for some stuff. Well, actually, what I can do is this. need that there, and then from what's left can probably be a Mark 1 belt, but that's going the wrong way. I'm gonna have to redo all these, I think. There we go. So then for this, I can just have this go off this away. And these are all outputting 65, so they need to be Mark II belts. This will default to going that way with overflow this way. Actually delete that, and then I can take one of you, put you in line there. Exclamation point. And then you will be set to, and this is the exact thing I've been waiting for to do this factory. 104.475 items per minute. And that will go to 2 foundries, maybe 3. And that will be responsible for the steel production. Having a hover pack helps a lot for doing this. Is that good enough? Yeah. Good enough. I want to go that way with this. Not the most straightforward line I've ever made, but straightforward, not the straightest line I've ever made of belts, but that's fine. It doesn't need to be that good. This Caterium sure is. Thinking if I could do 2 here and keep it compact, especially since these bastards do not like to go too close to each other, seemingly. Fine. How much for soft clearances? Do I want to do it that way, or do I want to do it this way? Yes, I'm gonna leave that there. I'll do 3. So I need 2.612. Divide that by 3, which is actually 261.1881. Solid steel. I can actually use it now. 87.0627. And then just copy, paste, paste. And then because I did it this way, I can actually do this. And then also, of course, have this, though disable straight mode for that belt. And now it just auto-balances itself. There, and then I can just bring the coal around somewhere. Probably sneak it in there. Invalid placement. How is this invalid placement? Because of that stupid thing? Really? Bullshit. Fine. Okay, and then trying to route this in would be obnoxious, so we're just gonna do this. Barely even been 30 minutes and the jank is already setting in. Well, so be it. If the game wants to be annoying, then I'll just build around that annoyance. The funny thing, we're actually going to have this here again. Another smart splitter, sending all that way and overflow that way. Probably be a Mark 1. And for this one, I'm going to offset that. Never going to give you up. We're going to send out 67.963 items per minute. Hit enter. And then that is going to combine with a similar amount of steel from over here. And go into more foundries. I'm really not, like, caring about how I build this. I'm just building it as I go. To be fair, this factory is going to be ridiculous. Shit's going to be all over the place. It doesn't really matter how it goes together, because routing is going to be a nightmare. Trying to figure out what I need to build is going to be a nightmare, because it's such a mess of crisscrossing lines and recipes and shit. I mean, you've already seen some of the awkward amounts that I'm having to deal with here, right? Which is the exact reason why I needed to wait for this mod to get updated. There was just no reasonable way to do this otherwise. Like, seriously, good luck getting 0.963 items per minute using a vanilla method. It's just not going to happen. Not with any reasonable setup. So, mods make it possible. You can always overproduce, oversend, and, you know, things like that. But, nah. Eh. Gonna move this forward half a foundation, and then .086 divided by 4, they all would need to be 113.2715. So if I actually had some power shards on me, I could do this, put you in, and just put formulas in there. There you go. Now, unfortunately, I didn't leave myself space there, but that shouldn't matter because I can just pass over top of this area. Even though the clearances are so ridiculous, you can still do that. I assume, yeah. And if I put one of these limiters right here, then have that hook into it, and then, I mean, in theory that should be fine. Are you gonna work with me at that level? Yeah. Seems fine. And then the throughput on this is going to once again be 67.963. And I did set correctly. And any forward overflow to the left because I don't want it going out conflicting with these. If I was to have this, like, here, I think it would be better. Yeah. Actually, can I just... No, I cannot copy-paste. Fair enough. Have to actually open the UI for that. And then these are all single inputs. And then I can just feed this as per normal. And then I don't actually need one there. Set these all off this way. This way I can fill in the gaps here. I might need to adjust these belts, but I think the other one should be fine. Let's let's see, put you in there, and you... not gonna cooperate, I'll just nudge it into place. That would explain why it was wonky. I placed it backwards. I think it'd be much easier if I just did this. Okay. Now we're good. Let's try that again. You route into there, you do not do that. And then you into there, you into there, and just like with the other factory, these will get removed when power gets installed, because this is allowing me to use the hover pack. So yeah, that's steel cast plates, and they'll do various things. Like, apparently some of these plates are going off to make nitric acid. The rest of the steel will go into a batch of 8 constructors and make steel rods. Isn't it fun? Trying to give myself a little bit more room here. Just a little bit. I don't know if I'll use it, but it's there at the very least. Oh hey, you know what would help? Did that. Alright, so these are intaking 100 items. So realistically, it's 1734. The hell is 17 plus 34? Not 60. So yeah, we're good on that front. Where the hell is that iron going off towards? Iron wire. Ah. Makes sense. Trying to think of how I want to do this. Do that sooner than not, I guess. Except I should do it over there, actually. Was 72.839. Yes. Take that quantity and subtract out that and that. Is that really it? Should really be that. I want to know that amount because I want to know how much or at what point I need to split off. Alright, why did I screw that up? Only there? Okay. So in theory, right there is that 30.401, and then 65 times 2, but where? Okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a belt down there. That's gonna be a Mark II belt. Because that's 1, 2, 3, and then at 4 it changes up. 1 is 2, 3, 4. And then here, nice multiple inputs that I didn't do there, or at least one extra input. Send it to the left, again, overflow ahead, again. Gonna put that there, and then this is going to be limited to 351.851 iron per minute. Okay, if you say so. And that is going to go to about 28 constructors to make iron wire. And some of that iron wire will actually go towards making stitched iron plates with the iron plates that will be crafted right there. But then all the rest of the iron, all of this and that entire side minus 1.389 ingots per minute is going to go towards one thing and one thing only. Iron pipes. And the number of crafters I'm going to need to make that many iron pipes. A lot. So I'm getting confused by lines overlapping. It's actually not that many. It's only 18.3 constructors, but that's 1,800 iron per minute. And I'm only getting out 457 steel pipes. Oh boy, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stream this for tonight, honestly. This is such a headache to look at. I showed it on stream previously. But like... Can I easily... Yeah. Just to give you an idea. That's the network. what I've done so far is, well, there's the iron, there's the steel, and then there's some other stuff. It's basically, I haven't touched that yet. It's basically just these two. And figuring out what to do for this. And this. That little bit is the iron. And like some basic iron products. And then there's all the rest of this. Aluminum from bauxite. There's stuff related to oil. There's even some quartz right here. Can't actually tell, but yeah, rock quartz in. Quartz crystal out. That's some of the bauxite stuff there. That's water. There's your oil input. That's nitrogen, which is, I mean, you can see, it's such a mess. Oh man. I remember to disable the desktop capture this time. I haven't been so good about doing that in the past. Not that it's a massive issue if I don't. Also, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm going to be turning 195 iron rods into 780 screws per minute. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not just making like cast screws or something, but okay. The rest of the steel here goes to steel rods, and those rods make screws and things like that. The rest of this is going to be just out of curiosity. Yeah. At least 3 belts for the necessary iron. Oh boy. It's just... I just look at all this work and it's like, do I really want to do this right this second? Also, these lines are practically touching. Like, which one am I on? Very difficult to tell. I think left? Right. I think. Oh, this factory might have to be done more offline than on, honestly. I might need to just go at it bit by bit as I feel like it. Granted, I could just back off a bit now and say, okay, we're going to do this piece by piece. We're not going to do this all at once. But I'm committing to doing this way. Not... It's going to be a headache. It is absolutely going to be a headache. But that's part of the challenge. Maybe I should work on coal stuff instead, since that's rather... not simplistic, but... wouldn't be too bad. Of course, it is time for a break. Copper output should be fairly reasonable. Unfortunately, the other 3 outputs would just be like getting them ready to split, because this is the only stuff that I'll be able to do, and this is already partially set up, the copper sheets. Oh boy. Do I want to keep working on this factory tonight? Honestly, I'm not sure. Let me think about it over the break. Again, it's just this big of a project. I just need to look at it bit by bit. I need to work at it bit by bit. Yay, 30 FPS. It reduces load on my GPU. Let's see, that, and that. So yeah, I'm gonna take a few minutes, to stand up, stretch, and just get away from the computer for a little bit. During this time, not only am I going to be thinking about what to do for the next bit of the stream, but I'm also going to be running some ads. It's the only time during the stream that I run ads, besides the very beginning and end of the stream. And it ensures that the gameplay is completely ad-free, and honestly, I'm prioritizing this even more so now, simply because I and many others are getting bombarded by 45 seconds of ads now when joining streams that we're not subscribed to. And it's really not appreciated. Yeah, Storm, the video for this has been on my hard drive since last April. Like, last year, April. I was just really lazy about doing something like not brand new. I've had it for a couple of weeks now, but fairly new. And it's not the only one. Yeah. So, apologies for the ads now, but it ensures that the gameplay is ad-free and anybody coming into the stream while I'm, playing the game, not on break, how about that, is not going to get ads. Which, again, if Twitch are going to give some people 45 seconds of ads instead of 30, that just means, yeah, make sure that pre-rolls are disabled as much as possible, because 30 seconds, I can just about tolerate, personally. 45, no, that just pisses me off. And you know what pisses me off more? Getting 45 seconds of ads joining a stream, having the stream error 2000 at some point, and then reloading the stream gives more pre-rolls. Yeah, I closed that tab really fucking quick. So, sorry, but blame Twitch for the ads, because you're gonna see them one way or another unless you're subscribed or have Turbo. Anyway, like I said, when we come back, I'll do something. I'll think about it over the break. Otherwise, BRB. Alrighty, I am back, and I do think I'll be shifting gears here and moving away from the aluminum factory. Even though that was the plan for the night, I just think that for my sake, if I'm to stream the full 3 hours tonight, I think I just need to step away from this factory. And again, that's effectively after only doing that much. In reality, I redid all of those as well and did maths to figure out splitting and also brought that belt over. It's still not that much work, but just... yeah. I'm actually going to relocate this because I don't like how that's set up. There we go. That's a bit more compact. And in theory, I could even actually put it out this side and make it more compact, but maybe at a future time. If I feel like it. Apologies for changing what I'm doing here. But to put it simply, I'm trying to avoid burning myself out. And a factory of that size is very likely to burn me out at this point of this game, and I don't want that to happen. So I want to work on something much more simplistic. And, well, here, let me show you just how much more simplistic it is. This is the monstrosity that I was just working on. And again, we're only working with this little bit down here. And this is the new one. Probably. I mean, 1500 sulfur is still a lot. I might have to lower that and make it, basically force it to do more iron conversion. But a bit more reasonable, wouldn't you say, compared to that? Still gonna be a headache to set up, admittedly. Oh, that's why it's doing that. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what the right amount is. I guess that much. Okay, so what I just showed is actually now inaccurate slightly. But that's okay. It's only inaccurate in the sense that I'm changing the inputs around to try and minimize the amount of sulfur that I need. Granted, the amount of iron has gone up to a ridiculous amount of 3,000 per minute. And I'm gonna need... try that again. I'm going to need... 500 RCUs. Ouch. The fluctuators are fine, I've got plenty of that. Fused modular frames are tight, but sufficient. I'll need another 100 cooling systems, which isn't that big of a deal. But yeah, the 500 RCUs. That's gonna be pricey. Well, I mean, I want to get a golden nut or two eventually. But for now, I guess that's fine. Also, I still need to figure out what to do with the lizard doggo. Well, I'm going back to my main base. Even though in theory I could get off just up here. I'm gonna need to find iron nodes in this area if I'm to do this. Fortunately, there's not a lot of machinery involved. It's mostly the 24 blenders. Like 3 and a bit constructors and 10 converters is not that big of a deal. Well, I say 10 converters is not that big of a deal. Where's the nearest SAM node? I know there's one up here at the spot that I've still not visited. There's one all the way up there. That is actually really close, and I only need 400 SAM a minute. I'm going to need to use both of those. Also, as I was dismantling things, some crates didn't stay where they should have been. So those are at 0-0 now. Which is, great. Just great. Basically, in order to get them, I either need to clip under the map or use a map or a save editor. Let's see. Cooling systems. Easy. RCUs. That much? 10 times 50. Now, admittedly, I could just craft some radio control units. That's fine. 249, I can spare one extra. Or 2 extra, I guess. Circuit boards, so basically like that. Then I need another 30. Easy. That's now down there. Rubber. I'm gonna put those back in there to have an even amount. So this is all of the circuit boards that I need. This is not all of the rubber. I won't put that in yet. And then 4980 aluminum casings. Of course, I just came from over where all of them are. That's mildly annoying. Deposit some stuff that I don't need in the meantime. I'll keep the rubber. And then that honestly can just get sunk. Put the lizard doggo in there because I still don't know what to do with him. Rubber I can go and get the right amount of fairly quickly. And this is where having portals would help. Teleporters. There's a mod that makes them really cheap. I mentioned this the last time I streamed this. There's a mod that makes them really cheap and makes them available early and run off of iron rods, I think it was. Be very much worth it. But I kind of wanted to wait until I unlocked them legitimately. However, I think I might end up reconsidering that option. Can you please? I might reconsider, simply because traveling from up here in the desert all the way over here and back and forth by going out around here via zipline is not ideal. Rubber. That's 24. So yeah, that. It's going to do that. So that right there is 2,490 is what I need. Crystal oscillators are also needed. Are they? Didn't I choose the recipe that... Oh, I didn't choose the recipe that doesn't need them. That's radio connection units. But those require heat sinks, which requires more crafting. So, screw that. Aluminum casings. There are weird sounds going on in the background. I don't know what from. Oh. It's probably the Dimensional Depot uploaders, isn't it? That would make sense. You know, let's honestly go out there. It's gonna take more time to go out and back, but it's gonna take way longer to wait for the aluminum casings to refill. I really should just install the teleporter, cheap teleporter mod. Well, I say that. I already have it installed, I just don't have it enabled. I should just say nuts to it and enable it though, and utilize it, because this is silly, honestly. Again, I don't like how they implemented them. Singularity cells. They require singularity cells. 1 to start up, I believe, and then 2 to continue running. Per minute. Maybe it's not as... I don't know. I've not used them, so I don't know the exact cost 100%. I'm just going off of what I think I remember hearing. Singularity cells are not that cheap. I don't know exactly what they consist of, but they're not cheap. They might even... I think they require singularity cells require singularity cells. I think they require nuclear pasta. Could be wrong. I can't look it up right now inside of the game. Outside of looking outside of the game. So yeah, I mean, they're very expensive items, very expensive buildables. And again, by the time that you can realistically automate them, you're probably wrapping up the story, most likely. And so they have a very limited use case. Considering how expensive they are, it doesn't make that much sense to me. Like, I get why it's as late as it is, but considering that we have dimensional depots, which are effectively teleporting matter around, breaking it down, reconstructing it. I don't know, I feel like having teleporters a little bit earlier in the story, if they were to incorporate Mercer spheres, wouldn't be that unreasonable. It does mean that you have to be a bit careful about how you use your Mercer spheres, but consider that a balancing point. Hey, Static. I'm not even going to attempt those sorts of noises. But energetic Yoshi noises to you as well. I still don't understand why I'm going that way. It's the way I want to go this time, but... yeah, there's the the starter factory, quote unquote. I need to figure out somewhere to put up a Caterium factory as well. You know exactly what they sound like, which is the point of the description. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, the aluminum casings have just topped out at 2200, which is not quite half of what I need. And it took most of this trip out here just for that to happen. Remember that. Remember that for why I decided to come this way. Everything here is, of course, running flawlessly. That's 4980, except actually I need an extra 800 because some of that was in storage, was in the dimensional depot. Yeah, I have plenty of crystal oscillators. Circuit boards I already got. I should probably take out the fluctuators. Just to let them refill. So that I don't have to go to the northern end of the desert to get them necessarily, because they should refill by the time that the radio control units are assembled. Cooling systems, in theory, I could try to do manually, but both options require that and heat sinks. It's 5 tickets. You know, I'm making the RCUs because that'll be 70 tickets. The cooling systems will just be 5. I can afford that much. I mean, I can afford the 70 tickets as well. Coupons, rather. I just don't want to. Let me actually, while we're doing this, obviously you guys can't see this, however... Oh, by the way, one of the changes with the latest patch, the northwest corner of the map is mostly back to how it was. Up here. The world border is mostly square again. There is a small section that's diagonal, but instead of cutting over like this, it's up here. So it's much more reasonable than it was previously. So that's nice. I don't know that I'll ever get up there and use that space, but it's good for the people who do like to use that space. Okay, so I need SAM nodes, of which there are 2 in the general vicinity, as I already knew. I'm going to need sulfur nodes. It's going to require those. Going to require a lot of sulfur. And the reason why also, to be clear, the reason why I'm going through this whole conversion thing is that even 1200 sulfur per minute, if I have it on the right option, even that much is, well, okay, that's 100% of limit. Let me just see, is this still doing what I want? Yes, but also no. So let me just change that. Okay, now it's doing what I want it to. 1200 sulfur per minute is about 11% of what's available in the world. versus the 3,000 iron I need is not that much. Speaking of that, I need coal. I need those nodes enabled. And then I also need iron. I need a lot of iron. Fortunately, there's a good amount of iron nearby. Okay, so you're going to need that. You're going to need that. And what else do I need? Do I need anything else? Yes. $83 crystal oscillators. Don't even need the other thing. You're down there. Too steep? Yeah, not surprised. The feed rates obviously aren't that high, but why not? Hey look, 1,000 SAM fluctuators. Honestly, because this is so relatively cheap, I'll probably just bump that up. Oh, by the way, 274 coupons. And there's
Parts
another
purchase
34
confirmed.
there.
Promotion delayed by X times part value plus fix-it stock value.
Yeah, you say that every time. So that's that much. I can remove this. I'll need 2 more RCUs, and I'll need 2 stacks of fused modular frames. So much for having any of those. Yeah, no, they don't mention units of measurement, do they? So of course, I'm only crafting 249, but because this is fully slooped, I'm actually producing 498 per minute. Effectively. Well, not per minute, but total. "22 minutes, okay. So that'll take a while. That's fine. It's crafting. Yeah, I don't know which would be better. But here, at least for now. Do I go with the glass wall again? Probably. It's not really a wall so much as a window. And then paint it to look better. That one-click build thing. What do you mean? The fact that I can, like, zoop it all over the place, or what? Oh, I know what you're talking about. You were talking about this thing. It's this. It's a mod. I don't know how to use it. Because, like, that's a thing, but what do I... Oh, that's how I do it. So, yeah, it's cool. I have it. I've yet to use it. But I have it. Do I have to put you down on soil? No. Yes. There we go. Where's the dog go? Come here. I'll bring the others over at some point in the future, okay? It was doggo with long name. Oh god, I hope it doesn't reset them, and I hope this actually was the original. Yeah, static. If you look at the general chat in my Discord server, you'll see the links that I posted in relation to that mod. Because I think it started existing because of things that were said recently by the devs, or a question that they answered at least. Because the timing on that was perfect. The mod is literally brand new. I also don't entirely understand why you can only place them back down on the ground, but perhaps that's just an oversight? I don't know. I didn't bring any resources with me. I mean, I have all this, but like, stuff that I could use for building factory extension, not so much. Yeah, I think I can build an extension of sorts onto the back of the tower here. Discourage players from dropping them from the sky, perhaps? Maybe. I wish you wouldn't do that. Twelve by 6. 7. I made it 11 by 7. I don't know. We'll be right up against that at that level. But all my fuel is stored right there. Ideally, I'd like to keep blenders, well, below that, but I don't think that'll be possible. So I could, in theory, put some stuff down here, right? It's not out of the realms of possibility. The problem is, I hate it when you do that. Yes, right there. So in theory, I have space down here, and I absolutely can fit constructors down here. Because I need about 3 of them. Problem is, the converter will not fit at all. I guess technically I could overclock the converters, but I feel like that's not a good idea. I could also sloop them, but again, probably not a good idea. Yeah, even at the lowest point, it's maybe not clipping, or it's not poking through, but it's still clipping. So instead of doing, well, depends on which way you're looking. What if I did that? Take advantage of the floor here and then tear up all of this. Let me... There's 1 meter foundations used over there, so not ideal. I can then work from this. Obviously, I'm not going to fit too many of these things on here, because the building's bloody massive. But if I could fit, say, I can easily fit 6. Fortunately, I don't have... There is a mod that allows you to... to zoop buildables? Zoop buildings, I believe? But I didn't install it, because it either only got in... or released today, or it only got updated today. So I didn't want to mess with it quite yet. What is the size of one of these? I guess is the question. I'm pretty sure I pressed H, but okay. 2x2 square. Okay. I mean, this would be like absolute tightest configuration, which I don't think is reasonable. I wanted spacing of 2 between them like that. That's not great. Nice leg. Okay, that should be sufficient clearance. Gonna need to run a, right, I have to do that. If I give myself just that little bit more room. Like that. And of course the bean's already there, because why wouldn't it be? Yeah, that's just foundation there, so that's fine. Go away. Then I could even do something like this, maybe? Needs to be concrete. And it got stuck in that again. And again. A nice little stairwell up from the main building, I guess. And basically the idea is now I can have do they have to be this spaced out? Maybe not. But it gives me ample space to have 6 here. And then I can in theory have another 4 down here with decent spacing, which gives me the 10 that I need. And then I've got this space for 3 1/3 constructors. And then that will be making the 1200 sulfur that then needs to be fed up to blenders, which are going to be above. So I am going to have to pump the fuel as opposed to just feeding it down like I am here. Over, down and across, and then into here where it just goes down and out. The fuel is completely gravity fed. There are 0 pumps on the output side of it. There are pumps over here because, well, I was condensing 5 lines down into 4 and yeah. Now, the thing is, for getting what I need over here, there are nodes around, but for instance, there's a sulfur node right here, which is really close. However, I'm also going to need to use a sulfur node that is right here, I believe. And another sulfur node that is right here. Because unfortunately this one and this one are impure, and this one is normal. I'm going to need to use some coal, but there's 4 nodes in here, that's fine. There's a Samore node right here, though it might be underground. And then there's another one over here, which again might be underground, probably is, that I'm going to need. And then for iron, I don't know, there's some nodes over here, there's some nodes back here. I'll probably end up going over here and bringing them across. So a fair amount of stuff to bring here. How are you not connected to anything? Literally batteries right there. Oh, that's a wonderful sound. Everyone's favorite. Let me go find this sulfur node. Oh, it's right there. I don't know what I'm pinging. Sam? Yes. So that's that impure node. Actually, does this go to where I want it to? This little gap here? Probably not. Pretty sure I need to go up. Can't tell if that's a slug or what. Also, there's a cave over here that I have noticed and I'm curious about. Yeah, so you guys are down there. What else is down here, though? Oh, purple slug. Neat. This seemed easier than it was probably meant to be. I don't know. I seriously do not know where the sound is coming from. Oh, it's right there. Okay. It is indeed a Mercer sphere. Oh my god, the surfaces are so not smooth. Somewhere over here, this should be one of the good starting areas. Deuterium. In terms of there being a shit ton of iron around. Like, a bunch of pure nodes. That's 2. Even if I could do the full 1200 per second, I would still need more than 2. Around here, though, in this general vicinity. If those are there... I've never utilized these nodes, also there's probably something back in that crevice. Or... 6. 6 pure nodes. This is a really nice area to start in. Like I said, there's something back here. I didn't know that for a fact. I just looked at it and was like, yeah, no, that's definitely a corner where they'd put like a little cavern or something. Also, where's all the hostile stuff? I'm gonna need more fused modular frames, aren't I? Alright. Got the coupons for it. All the more reason to finish that factory, but honestly, part of the reason why I want to work on this fuel factory here is because if I start bringing this factory online, it's gonna put too much load on the network, and other factories are gonna get shut off because this has to be taken offline to switch it over to rocket fuel. But there won't be enough power left on the rest of the grid to keep everything else running with this offline. So this is kind of a priority in that sense. I can build out that factory over that away somewhere, but I can't necessarily bring it online until things here are taken care of. Alright, so just to confirm, if I put 3 down, yeah, I don't have enough. And the only reason it didn't immediately say you don't have enough is because these two here. So, do that. Do that. And not the cheapest things in the world. Put that.
Parts purchase confirmed. Promotion delayed by X times part value plus fix-it stock value.
Construct that. Throw that back in there as well. These can get trashed. And then wrong menu. Miner Mark III. The way I want to point them? Not really. Probably more so I want to point them this way. That was 5 and 6, but huh? What was that? 3 and 4. Three, 4, and then 5 and 6 back there. I probably need 4 nodes to do all this. Yeah. You put you down there. Um. $660. Cool, I can save a power shard that way. Right. Says you. Whoops. want to just get them all running along one path, so it's of course going to be something like this. Just give them a slight bump off the ground to avoid as much clipping as possible with the plants. And the bot says that it's time for a break. Not surprised. Creature is in the way. Oh. You are in the way, bastard. Just to reconfirm, you are the one that only has one overclocker. Yes. Be careful, make sure it's not using anything from my inventory. I've got 10 supercomputers to sync, I guess. That's neat. Because of course I disabled this, so it didn't actually take from my inventory. When it should have. Or when it would have otherwise. Alright, well. Bot said it's time for a break, so let's take another break. I am good. That, and also, just because this is a noisy area, I'll do that. So I don't have to hear it. In theory, you can't hear it now either. Let's see. Hey, we're finally getting the third of the 3 AFK scenes. And it's the same thing. But it's raining! Remember how I said that it was April of last year that I recorded these? Yeah, I was lazy about recording multiple, so I just... Basically, it rained during one of the segments, so... There you go. It's different at least, even if it is more or less the same view. Anyway. Time for another break. Just going to take a few minutes to stand up, stretch, and get away from the computer for a little bit. During this time, I am going to run some ads. It's the only time during the stream that I run ads because... ads during gameplay sucks. And pre-rolls suck, especially when they're 45 seconds long. Cue Twitch. So, run ads now during the break while nothing is happening, so that the gameplay itself remains completely ad-free. Does mean that you might have to sit through some ads if you're not subscribed, or if you don't have Twitch Turbo. Apologies for that, but I think this is the best compromise, especially because I feel like ads while nothing is happening is a better situation to have than, well, ads during gameplay in general, but especially 45 seconds of ads upon joining the stream initially, which not everybody will experience, but if you're like me and you're unlucky, you're going to see 45 seconds of ads, so I want to avoid that. Anyway, when I come back, we'll continue routing belts and stuff towards the direction of the power plant. I'm not going to use trains for this, obviously. I could, in theory, use, like, trucks, but I don't think that's worth it. Besides, they take fuel. So I'd rather just belt it. It's not that long of a distance. It'll be fine. Might not look great, but it just needs to get there. Anyway, BRB. Alrighty, I am back once again, and boy, 30 FPS feels horrible. Especially when you're used to closer to 90. Anyway, back to here. And, wait, what? How did you confirm? I don't know how that worked. Anyway, back to 90. You can only see 60, but 90 is so much nicer for me, personally. So... there. I'm gonna elevate them more so that they avoid better. Could I have nudged that, maybe? This tree. Tree is in the way, and I guarantee you I don't have enough fuel. Okay, never mind, I apparently do. That wasn't the first time I had used it, though, without refilling it, so I'm honestly surprised that it worked. It doesn't even clip. Doesn't even clip a bit. It clears. Isn't that amazing? How many bushes here? I miss having a hover pack. Hey, Chaos. But where am I going here? Probably that way. Thank you for breaking game. Put that there, and then 3 more on top of that. You need 4 Mark V belts of silica, Geeson? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's a lot. What the hell was that? One of those bugs or whatever? Between the arches. About 7 of those at Mark 6. Oh boy. Yeah, this is one instance where I wish I did have Mark 6 belts, because I could just minimize this to 3 belts. But Mark 6 belts are expensive, and I am nowhere near being ready for that cost. And yes, I'm aware I can zoop those. It's not that much extra time to just place them manually. In fact, it might take longer to get the exact right amount zooped, you know? Whoops. It might not be, but either way. You wish stack poles could be tilted? Yeah, it sure would be nice if they could be tilted, wouldn't it? Sure would be nice. Yep. Yep. Sure would be nice. Yep. Yep, I play modded. I sure do. Good to know I can still hit the power pole from here, now that I can see it anymore. Is that one scalable balancer mod updated? What, you mean modular load balancers? What do you think? Well, that's the one you're talking about, right? With the... where you can just basically scale it up to balance whatever you want. Because every time I do that, I withdraw resources and then I can't deposit them. These all get used, some of it will. If I set to take it from inventory at this point. If I go left, it might be tighter, but it will send me the way that I want to be going, I guess. By left, I mean this way. Yes. Love when that happens. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's updated. It's very clearly compatible with the latest version of the game. I shouldn't have to explain why. Why I can say that with such confidence. Fun fact, I'm actually using some modular load balancers in my quote-unquote starter factory over on the coast here. When was the last time I played this on stream? Monday. And I don't believe that mod was updated yet. Of course there's gonna be trees in the way, why wouldn't there be? the accuracy with which you have to point at the things correctly with sometimes. It just gets annoying. There, I did it that way. Whoops. This is definitely a gap I've found myself routing belts through. This is a gap. Yeah, I mean that takes slightly longer, but really only slightly. The mod manager does everything, kiosk. Like, they don't want you doing anything manually. It's not set up for that. Okay, well, there's where we're heading. Yeah, power lines running through tree limbs is a common sight here in the US. I'm sure it'll be fine. In theory, the radio control units are all done at this point. They should have been done for a while, actually. Probably over half an hour. Yeah, that's definitely where I wanted that. What would be the best way to approach this from? I mean, definitely going this way. I guess just following that ramp down. Fair enough. I look forward to running even more belts long distances to get this done. That was sarcasm. I went further than I intended on going there. Just a little, though. We're getting there, though, with the iron, at least. Occasionally have to run back up and grab the tower. But that's a minor detail. And in theory, I can actually just come over here, grab the sulfur, and bring it in as well. Take from inventory? I mean, yeah, sure. Oh wow, you actually are sitting down when I'm that close. How nice of you. You can stay over there. Anybody else? No? Good. Well, that worked well. Now, how do I bring it down from here? Probably by bringing it down to, like, here somewhere first. Is that actually enough clearance, though, if I can grab one of the belts? Oh, yeah. Plenty of room. Go with that. And then this belt can literally just zip into the next segment, probably. The bottommost level. Things just up there. Yeah, not a chance I can bring it down fully in one go, but there you go. One more belt, and we're good. Good enough. Let's see. Well, that was that. I can remove the iron from the map, which is nice. Yeah, it makes sense just to have these like this. Although I might add coal on top. There should be another ramp down. Yeah, there will be another ramp down. So the coal will come in from over that way. I don't think it'll... No, that's a dead end, actually. Yeah, so it'll come down over that way past this rock formation here. Along with the two SAM nodes and eventually the other, well, both of the sulfur nodes as well, the other two sulfur nodes. Which cannot be combined into a single belt, unfortunately. Oh well. Not at this stage, at least. Hello? Yep, that's definitely the one I wanted. Such a narrow area to click on. Don't take from inventory. Okay. Finish running it the last little bit, I guess. Not necessarily going to bring it in completely. Just at least get it over in this general area. That way I can very easily bring it in once I know where everything is and where I want it to be. Damn autosave at the wrong time. Honestly, I think that's good enough. It looks like they're playing golf with your friends now. They, as in the group that would, well, more or less the group that I would be racing with if we still did that. I forgot I can scroll just to get it to where I want it to be. There. It doesn't need to be filled in completely if you can't actually see it fully filled in. You know, like, you don't need to know that there's space down here. You don't need to know that. Yeah, so the coal, the rest of the sulfur, and the SAM will come from this direction. Now I want to head back to the base, though. Alright. There it is. 500 RCUs. And a bunch of shit that I can deposit for this. I can also take some of this stuff and throw it over here. Actually, that's a smart splitter, isn't it? So, there. Sort yourself out. Going in as fast as it needs to. I can sink it. It's not worth basically anything. But it's still points. Yeah, 1.8 million. That'll probably be even higher the next little bit as well. Everything on the right is good. And fluctuators, cooling systems, fused modular frames, and the RCUs. To do that. There you go. Yeah, 1.9 million. 42 coupons. What a good number. 42. And again, the reason why I do that pause, unpause bit there is because I'm holding shift, and so when I hold shift and then pause, the game will remember that shift is pressed, and then I can unpause after letting go of shift, and it will still think I'm holding shift, and thus I get the speed boost without having to do anything. So you just sit here. Double stutter on the autosaves is... That's the ladder on that. Okay. Really annoying. That's what I was going to say. Also, I had to find a place to fit this in. You know how much easier it would have been had I just been able to use this from the get-go? Like, look at the size difference. Look at the size difference. Like, yeah, I could make it larger to the point of it being, you know, the same scale. But that requires such an increase in size to get to that point. I guess another thing to consider, how many blenders can I fit in this area? About 6 per floor. Which means 4 floors. Convenient, that. First ever converter built. It is a machine. $100 to 400 megawatts. Not terrible. Oh, they only used 2 sloops. Not bad. Not helpful. There we go. That's 4 built. And then, like I said, I can literally just have 4 built somewhere along here. Don't know how that ended up there, but it did. Yeah, D20. Is that how many sides I have? Over there. Seems more like a D30 to me. No, they're not. $300 per minute. Jesus. That's a lot. Time crystals, though, which are made of diamonds, but how do you get diamonds? Oh, it's simple. You just turn coal into diamonds in a particle accelerator. I will say that the fixite trigon rate isn't that bad. 3 from 1 ingot. The ingots can be quite pricey, though, if you just do iron. Caterium is probably a good balance, because aluminum... I mean, you can make a lot of aluminum, but that's also quite expensive. Not that caterium is common, either. This isn't really enough space, is it? I mean, there's always this option. It looks horrible. That actually works. Thank you, Infinite Nudge, for making non-nudgeable buildables nudgeable. It is so nice of you. I guess really what I should do... Gonna mess things up. But... if I did this... do it like this instead. That should have been on. Give me a break. I think that's a bit more reasonable for space going into these things. Okay, I've had enough of that nonsense. Give me a bloody power line. There. That doesn't entirely solve the issue on the floor where I'm going to be putting 6 of them, but it certainly helps. And of course, there's no reason why I can't just put them side by side. What if I did foundation and a half? And I can leave that much space. Because the outputs don't need as much room. Because it's one output. Right, I don't actually have these set up yet. That's only one output. Alright, well that was a lot of wasted resources, but whatever. I'll just sink all of these, that's fine by me. Disable that macro. Then this will be Sam. Not that button again. So that's 100 SAM, reanimated SAM per minute, which is what I want. And then I need to figure out how best to split them between the floors. I guess what I could do is I could merge these. Yes, I'm aware that was a splitter. Getting to it. And then what I can do I can come to a block of modules. Actually, even better. I want that there. Don't even need straight mode for it to work. That was an input-only module. Why did I use an input-only module? Have that go in there, and then I can use output-only modules. And 2 along this way. And then okay. I can then put up here 1, 2, 3, and just to confirm they are all in one network. They are all together. How much do these require? Like 10 a minute? Yes. Those are Mark II? Why? Mark Ones. You go that way, you go that way, and you go that way. Yeah. And then this can literally just splitter, and splitter, right? Except I think the way I'm actually going to want to do this is on a separate grid. I do this. And likewise up here on a separate grid. I do that. Seems a bit silly, but I'm taking one input and splitting it to 5 different outputs. Or 2 sets of 2 and then 3 sets of 2. 2 sets of 2 and then 3 sets of 2. But I want to merge these down because these are all going to be connected to one set of splitters, and then these likewise are also going to be connected to one set of splitters, so I want to merge those down. Distracted by building these things. So I want to merge this down to one line, right? And the same thing here, because I'm going to be taking care of 4 off of one line. But then this can stay as its own line because there's only 2 machines here. Belt speeds to be upgraded. Which, yeah, gonna need to do some shenanigans to get everything working over here. Cross that bridge when we get there. Definitely do want to have the SAM on the lower belt, because I feel like having the upper belt be dedicated to the iron would be better, because much higher speeds. So, yeah. Alright, that works. That works for that much. These take in 120, this will be 40. Give me a break, game. Please place it correctly. Yeah, I said give me a break, kiosk. Exact context behind why, don't ask, because honestly I don't remember at this point. But the game was being annoying about something, no doubt. That's iron and sulfur. There's not really enough time to do anything else. But hey, I've got 10 converters built with power lines clipping through some of them. Temporary. All temporary so I can fly. I mean, it's a good starting point. All the ores over here are dealt with. There's a node there. There's a node somewhere over here, and then there's a node like right there. And there's a very likely chance that this node is underground. This one over here, maybe. This one's exposed because I don't think there's enough room there. There's enough caves there for there to be anything underneath. But, yeah, I mean, coming along. What's the spacing on this? 5. Okay, so just like here. Good. I go to 11 or... yeah, that many. That's where the next floor would be. Supports and stuff to come. This is the one place where I'll make sure that things look nice because... okay, this is incomplete, but it's already been started at least. And remember, that wall over there was done in a way to get an idea for how things would be. Also, yay, clipping things, which is why there are ramps here. Also, fun fact, these are disconnected. See? Because it's emergency power. Get things back online if need be. God, look at how fast that burns. Rocket fuel will be slightly slower because fully overclocked. I do need to get me more slugs, I think. I need to get more slugs because I'm running low on power shards. In fact, I'm running very low on power shards. And, I mean, I've got a decent amount of blue and yellow slugs, but the purple ones are basically out. So, yeah, not great. I'm gonna throw those back in there. Oh yeah, I need to see if there are any alt recipes unlocked at this point. That's a possibility. Here, we'll take advantage of mods. Go down. It's so nice to actually have an elevator in that elevator shaft. Since, you know, I specifically designed that building in mind, with elevators in mind. So I had the space for the elevator before mods were even available. Honestly, I might just keep the Caterium production there. I might not, though. I might move it to another node further away so that that node is available for here in the desert. I don't know. We'll see. 45 coupons. That will go up. Not mega. So yeah, that requires singularity cells and power shards, so that's never being unlocked in a reasonable time frame. Power slugs. Synthetic power shards only require time crystals to research. Not cheap, but it does require a converter. But I mean, sloops, right? I'm very low on sloops, clearly. To be fair. There's 16 of my sloops. And 20 power shards. Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, that added... Oh, there it is. They finally updated. 2.8 million! Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I got you, Kiosk. I understand completely. I understand wanting the extra power and the production. Especially the power. +3. Those are still sitting there. I've still not touched them. I did try something. So if you noticed earlier, right, like I could shrink down things. So I did try to move one of these over there and then, you know, move it into a similar spot, but you can see that it doesn't work, right? Because it still recognizes it as being normal sized for the collision, and yeah, so I have to use one of those. Because then if I had one of them, I could just get rid of that. How would belts work? They just do. Actually, you're that, right? Give me that. Oh, hey, look, power shards. Belts just work. And that breaks everything. That also breaks everything. Damn it, hit the right buttons. Oh! I didn't realize it did that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think at a point it just disappears. I mean, inverted factories are simpler than that, right? I can literally just do that. In fact, let's do that. Players in the way? Sorry. Sure. Go a little faster, please. It just works. Oh, the deconstruction animation was a little funky there. You see that? It kind of looked like it was blowing up in a really glitchy way a little bit. Not that surprising considering what was done, but you know. Just restocking my inventory, as I like to do. You can tell, there was a while where I was only putting in things that I was crafting, and then it was around here that I realized, oh, there's not a limited amount of items that you can store. It's just how many stacks of each item. Yes, that took a while to say, but I was still deciding what I wanted to say there for a while. quick wire is good. Iron rods needs topping off. Rotors needs topping off. Modular frames. Now it's just topping things off at most, and that's it. Oh, but, there's also that, so do that. Well, we've got the converter at least. The quantum encoder is going to be way too expensive to consider. Blueprint designer requires parts from that and a shit ton of fused modular frames. And yeah, portals. Like I said before, I was considering waiting until I unlocked this resource to get it, but 100 superposition oscillators for that, and then 500 RCUs, 250 turbo vroomers. Yeah, I might just enable that mod that makes teleporters really cheap and available from the beginning. Also, why in the hell are conveyor belt Mark 6s alongside Fixonium? Hate it. Technically, that's not that's unlockable now. Time crystals. How much would 250 each be? I'm not gonna do it. Bam. On that. That's well within reach. That's well within reach. Although, thinking about it more now, the fact that you need time crystals and fixite trigons to unlock this tells me that you probably need time crystals at the very least for conveyor belt Mark 6s. I wouldn't be surprised if trigons as well are required. Don't tell me. But I'm getting that feeling. I mean, the trigons could be related to the Fixonium. And there's also aluminum sheets there, so they could be involved somewhere as well. I don't know what, but it would make sense, right? Honestly, that might be worth 20 tickets just to unlock and see how expensive it is. Yes, I could very easily just go look at the wiki, which remember is wiki.gg, not the stupid fucking fandom wiki. Don't use that wiki. I could just look at the official wiki and, you know, get the information that way. Or somebody could tell me, but I want to find it out for myself. I've been spoiled on some things over time, but that's one thing. The cost of Mark 6 belts, I've still not been spoiled on, and I want to keep to that at this point. I did remember to disable the desktop capture. Hi. And end scene. Alright. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Technically, I could keep going. I mean, this is about when I would have started the GTA streams previously, but GTA is effectively dead. GTA Online, at least, is effectively dead. There's a mod update available, and it's nothing important. And I just don't feel like streaming that late into the night if there's nothing going on, you know? Streaming takes a lot. It's easy to just open OBS and then play the game, you know, but when you gotta be sitting here dealing with chat and considering what may or may not make for good content, I mean, I don't make the best content out there by far, admittedly, but still. You know, it gets tiring after a while. Oh boy, unsafe release. Yeah. Alpine has fined 5 grand. No surprise there. Scrutineering passed. Sorry, I'm looking at F1 stuff. I got distracted. Provisional starting grid corrected. Only. When's car 24? Go. Okay. Alright. Well, the F1 race will be tomorrow afternoon. We'll see if it's any good. Anyway, like I said, that's all for tonight. As for the next stream, it will of course be on Monday at the usual time, and I mean, what do you think it's gonna be? More Satisfactory. The inverted factory comment. Easier than you'd think with mods. So yeah, I might do the same thing. I'm probably gonna play a little bit off stream at the very least, but I might do the same thing that I did tonight. Work for a little while on the aluminum stuffs factory, and then switch to something else. Because that factory is just so much. It is so much. I want to complete it sooner than not, but it is going to require so much time and effort just to figure out that rat's nest of crafting and yeah, just crafting, like items feeding into other items, and just it is such a headache. It's gonna have like 3 different parts, that factory, like the iron and copper and caterium and limestone are all down in that area where I'm currently set up, but then I'll have like aluminum nitrogen related things further north, and they'll all come together in the middle to intermingle and do whatever, and I don't know. I'm just saying words at this point to get the point across. That's my idea, at least. Because it's going to be a big factory, and I'm thinking basically at this point, I've got most of what I need auto-crafted once that factory's done. At least through, like, phase 4. Minus the project parts. But my plan is to have one big factory that handles all of the project parts in the desert. And by that, I mean it's going to be crafting all the project parts, but I'm only going to be stocking the phase 5 project parts. Because why should I bother with anything lower down? It doesn't matter, right? At this stage, it doesn't matter. There's no use for those older project parts other than to make the newer one. So, yeah, that will be my bring it all together to make things factory versus the other factories that are existing. The computer factory, the quote unquote starter factory, and the large aluminum related items factory. They'll all be set up and providing me items, and then the factory in the desert will be primarily focused on the project parts and maybe a couple of the other phase 5 items. That's where the trains are going to come in handy. That's where drones are going to come in handy. Oh, and I'll probably explore nuclear at some point down in the swamp. Because fuck the swamp, there's nothing good there. There's a couple of aluminum nodes, or bauxite nodes, technically. I don't want to be in the swamp otherwise, though, so let's just set the nukes up there. Fuck that place. I think that's fair enough. So yeah, that'll be Monday. At the usual time. And beyond that, I don't know. You think I think that far ahead? We'll just have to see where we get to. As for tonight, though, that's it. I'm gonna run some ads on the way out. Don't want to stick around for them. That's fine. At the end of the stream, you're not gonna miss anything. Always appreciate it if you do stick around, though. Yeah, I guess that's basically it. Watch the ads or don't. I need some updates. Fucking Windows. And next stream on Monday. Yeah, that's going to do it for me tonight. Thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you next time. Later.